So, and the answers you are going to again write in the chat box so that I'll understand that what you're thinking about it and how, whether you are understanding me or not. In between, I will be asking for the responses also, whether you have understood or you have not. So you know that in the Zoom app there is a column of response where is a thumbs up or clap. So you can give me the response so that it will drive me that I'm going in a right direction and I'm with you, because we know that I'm not directly in contact with you. So there are certain limitations of technology, but these things will help us that we all are with each other. So to start with a session, I want to start with a small video, and I expect that everybody will have a close look at the video. So let me just share my screen, and there is a video. So we saw in the video that there was an old lady who was on wheelchair. She could not cross the road, but there was a boy who saw that, and he felt the need of wedge. He provided that wedge to the lady, and the lady could very well get down from the footpath, and she was included. And ultimately, that piece of wood, that wedge, was used by everybody according to their need. So end of the video we could see that inclusion makes everyone happy. So this is what we are going to understand that in this particular session, that inclusion is going to bring happiness for everybody, and how it is going to do, we will see as we go further in this session. So let us understand the current scenario of special education in children. We could see that there are 2,500 special schools in the country. This was the study done by RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India, in 2000. And it was found that there are around 3 million special children in the country, and by the end of 2020, only 10% were supposed to access the education. So, and at that time I'm sure that even nobody even imagined that COVID and coronavirus is also going to happen in 2020. So I don't know whether we will be able to even achieve 10%. But my question is that when it is a right to education for all the children in the country, so what about 90%? Only 10% have an access to education. So what about 90% teachers? Shall we leave them? They should not get an education. So what should we do about those children? So I want that reply from you. Can you just write in a chat box? What should we do with those 90%? Full screen karo, full view. So let me see. Anybody has written something in the chat box? Sorry, teachers, I'm not able to see the response. I just want to understand from you. So, what should we do for 90% of the student? Shall we leave them? How we should reach to 90% of the students? I get that we should give them the proper education. We just understood that 2500 special school in country, and we have 3 million children in the country. So definitely they all cannot be accommodated. If it would have been possible that we could created more special school, it would have been done earlier also. But is it a solution, and what else is there? So the solution is inclusive education, that we need to accommodate those students in the mainstream school, because since we have limited resources, we have limited infrastructure. So rather than leaving those children, can we accommodate them in the mainstream school? This is what inclusive education is. But let us understand the meaning of inclusive education in detail. So, inclusive education means all learners, young people with or without disabilities, being able to learn together in ordinary preschool provisions, schools, and community educational settings with appropriate network of support services. So, here we want to say that all learners. What do you mean by all learners? All learners means every child who's born in the country, who's age between 3 to 17, has all the right to study in this school, has a right and has an access to free and compulsory education, whether he's a girl, he's a boy, he's coming from any linguistic minorities, he's coming from any state, he's coming from any religion, he belongs to any socioeconomic status, whether he is suffering from HIV AIDS, and or the he's or whether he's from village or from the urban population. All means all the children, including children with disabilities and without disabilities, and all the learners with and without disabilities being learned to together in a neighborhood school. Purpose is that the education should be accessible to everyone. A child should be able to go to this nearby school which is near to his home, which is within the community, and where there is a proper support system. It's not just sending a child to the school is going to solve the purpose. We need to create that support structure, infrastructure, services, people are in this school, which provide that environment that every child have an easy and accessible education. So let us understand more about it. If we want inclusion in the community, in the education system, what we do, and first of all we have to understand what inclusion is not. Most of us, we understand that dumping kids with disabilities into general classroom without the support and services uh, they need to be successful. So we always feel that just sending the children with disabilities into the classroom is inclusion. This is what is done. Our job is done. We have just sent the school children into the classroom, but that is not inclusion unless we create that environment. Our teachers are trained. Our the environment is that, only then we can say that inclusion is there, is inclusion in the classroom. Second is that cutting back, most of us, we think that if we in the mainstream school, if we admit children with special need, we bring inclusion, it is going to cutting back special education services as a trade off for being in the general education classroom. No, it is not going to replace special educator, it is not going to replace special teachers. So it beside that children are going to the mainstream school, we still need these people also. The only thing is, by training teachers of the mainstream school, we are creating a strong support structure for the child with special need, so they can work in hand, and they can create a better environment for children with special need for their learning. And third is again, third point is that we are not going to sacrificing the education of kids without disabilities, so kids with disabilities can be included. Most of us, we feel that if we have children with special need, we have children with disabilities in the classroom, it is going to affect the education and learning of other children. So even that is not inclusion. No, purpose is that all the children will sit together and have the proper environment, that all the children, whether they are with disabilities or without disabilities, they are sitting together, they are learning together, and they have their own piece of education. Every education is provided to everybody. Unless we achieve that aim, we can't say that this is inclusion. So to bring inclusion, we have to definitely, if we want inclusion, we have to make certain changes. So first most important change we have to do is to change the content. There are many students with diversities, they have certain limitations, they have certain strength. So the school curriculum, the education curriculum, the content, everything has to be in such a way that each and every child get the right education. Every child is attended, accepted in this school. And the second is that if we have to do that, we have to bring a change in the structure and strategies. We know that the structure means many of the disabilities, especially physical disabilities, they need some barrier free environment in the school. They have an easy access to the building, to the other areas in the school. So the structure of the school should be designed in such a way that every child can have a free flow of entering into the school, and he can access all the services, all the facilities which are there in the school. And definitely with the policy level, we have to bring lot of changes in the policy level. As a teacher, many of you must be thinking that how we can change the policy. Definitely you cannot change the policy, but what you can bring a change is the change in your attitude. Bringing change in your approach is very important. So as I discussed, that when we have to bring inclusion in the school, in the classroom, we need to change content, we need to change infrastructure. The most important change we have to bring into the change in our attitude. So nothing can work. Best of the infrastructure cannot bring inclusion in the classroom unless our mindsets are changed, unless we empathize with people with diversity, unless we have the attitude of acceptance of people. So if attitude is not important, infrastructure and everything is important. So I want to ask you, teacher, inclusion would have come into the private school when they have a beautiful buildings and everything, but still there is no inclusion, because inclusion comes our from within ourselves. Unless we accept the child first, we accept that child with whatever he has certain limitations. Once we accept, only then we are going to see his strengths also. Only then we can bring inclusion in the society. So let us understand what is happening right now, what is the current education classroom, what is the current education system. Now you can see a picture on the screen. It is flashing for such a quite long time. So you can see a picture. So can you all see, teachers, that there is a picture, there is a classroom with different kind of students. All the students from different diversities, they are in the classroom. And the teacher in the classroom is saying that I'm a very honest teacher. I'm totally impartial. So that is why I made one question paper. I made one question paper for all the students because I'm very, very impartial. So there is a common question paper for everyone. And what was the question? What was the task? Kindly please climb the tree. So teachers, if I ask you who is going to climb the tree, obviously you are going to say it will be crow, it will be a whatever the bird is, and it will be monkey, and those will climb the tree. And what about other students? So with this paper we can guess that other students cannot do. They are not intelligent, they are not capable. So this actually happens in our regular classrooms also. When we have a common system, we when we don't create a curriculum, when we don't make a content which in keeping in mind that all the students, whether they it will be um, it will be applicable for all the students will be able to participate in this activity or will be able to solve the paper. We make the whole life, we tell the child that you are not capable enough to do this, and with that mindset the child thinks that I am not capable enough, and he grows like that. So how long will take that child into the education system? So these children ultimately after some time they drop out from the education system because they don't feel that they fit into this kind of a system. So let us understand that whether system has to fit according to the need of the child, or what we are asking that child should fit according to the need of the system. To understand better, let us understand the changing scenario in the education. So I will not say that our system, our education system, government policies, they are not working on it. Like it's a they were always thinking about what best we can do for especially in relation to children with disabilities, and other inclusions were also been taken care upon. As you know, gender inclusion, as we know, caste and religion inclusions, because if we go years on years back, it even that was the matter of concern when certain people were allowed to go to the school and have an access to education, and certain class of people, certain gender were not, even female education was not really possible at that time. But somehow now we forget all these things, because now the only agenda left behind is the children with disabilities. So I just want to say here that just to why I'm discussing this thing, just to say that if those were the issues and we have come over those issues, I'm sure that one day we are going to achieve this also. So let us understand how the change came into the system. First is the special education. So special education system was came long way back around 100 more than 100 years back. So first education system school was somewhere in 1880 or 1880s may it was there. So it was so old system. It's not, it's a special education is something not new. But what was the drawback of special education is that, so we all understand that the in the school life, if the child was going to the special school, if the child will go to the special school for how many years, how many years child is going to the special school? Maybe 10 or 12 years. Okay, then what about after that? When the child was in special school for 10 and 12 years, his life was amazing. He was very, very happy because everything was according to the need of a child. There were people, they understood his problem, they were very caring, his peers were like him only, and his life was very, very relaxing, peaceful. But what happened after 10 years, 12 years, when actually child came into the real world? When he came into the real world, leaving the special education, he was stranger for the community. Community, even community saw him as a stranger. Who is he? He doesn't belong to us. And for him, the whole word was strange. He thought, he saw that who are they? Nobody is even like me, and nobody is ready to accept me. So what would happen to those at that time? When the person feels like that he doesn't belong to this place, nobody wants, he is unwanted, so that feeling actually kills the person, that gives, that feeling actually give trauma to the persons. So that was the drawback of a special school. So ultimately we realize that ultimately if we have to live in this world, we have to survive in this world, we have to spend our whole life in this world, why not from the day one we train these children to have a survival, to fit into this world where they we and we are used to each other. They are not known, they are no more stranger to us, and we are no more strangers to them. Only then. So that is why, and it came into existence is that when our national education policy came into existence, which came in 1985, when it came under that, when it was clear that education is the fundamental right of a child. So each and every child between the age of 5 6 to 14 years have a free and compulsory education, have a right. At that time it was thought that okay, so we can't deny admission of to any child for the education. So at that time the government said that integrated system came, where it was very very clearly laid down that no school will deny the admission for these children with disabilities or special children. So it was a compulsory. So what happened when it was a very very forceful decision that okay, everybody has to admit these children in the school, and especially for government school there was no choice, it has to come into the school, it has to come into the class. But how the child was perceived, teachers said that okay, if I'm teaching 50 students, two more have entered into my classroom, it's okay, it's it's not my problem. The only thing is child has to adjust according to the environment of a class. I'm teaching 50, I will teach 52, it is not going to make any difference. The only thing is child should able to get the education, he has to understand that. But I really want to ask friend, do you think this kind of the attitude, this kind of the environment, this kind of an environment is going to take the will allow the students with special ability to take right education? It's like that if somebody comes into your home, you may serve best of the food, you may lay down beautiful table and crockery, but you are not available and you tell the person that okay, you take food, but I am busy, I am busy somewhere else. So do you think you will be going to that place? Again, never. Because it's not ever always the food, it is always the acceptance we human want in the community, that community should accept us, community should respect us. So that respect everybody wants that. So integrated system has that drawback. And after the integrated system we understood that just by mere sit allowing the child to sit in the classroom is not going to bring inclusion. It has to come from here, it has to come from here where all the stakeholder in the education system, when they feel that love and affection for children with special need, when they feel that okay, they are our responsibility, they are not from the different world, they are among us. So believe me teachers, project we are giving project inclusion training in 15 states of the country. And after attending the training, when teachers admitted that and teachers shared with that just changing our mindset, when we saw that okay, no, whatever it is, maybe child is not learning anything, but we just love and we say that child that we are happy to have you in our classroom, there is a straight away there is a big shift in the child performance. Because we all know that end of the day that we all human needs appreciation, love and affection. So if this is also needed by children with special need, people with disabilities, if we give them that, I'm sure that they will always show improvement in their learning. So you can see the picture. Through the picture you can see that this is exclusion, this is the classroom, and the children with disabilities, they are excluded into the system. And in the integration, if they are included, but they are not included, they are there but they are lying in one corner. And ultimately inclusion happens here when they are the part of the system and the society. So this is what we have to bring, we have to aim at that. This is how we have to bring inclusion. So if we, I'm just again will discuss what is the difference between integration and inclusion. So I'm just sharing here, just changing the mindset, bring the change in our perspective, how we see the things. It is all here in mindset. So in integration, when it was a forceful decision that the child has to enter into the system, then child was seen as a problem. Everybody said that who is he has created my life difficult. In the classroom they are disturbing, so teacher used to say that he cannot go to school, he cannot learn, he needs special teacher, he needs special environment, he doesn't respond, he cannot learn. So that was the attitude. Like once it was inclusion, when inclusion saw that there is a it's a right of a fundamental right of a child, we can't deny. We all know our fundamental right. We all know and we understand that if once our fundamental right is hindered as an adult, we fight for it. So it's a fundamental right of a child, right to education. So we just can't deny. It's the duty, responsibility of all the education stakeholder to provide good and good education to all the children, in spite of, in like, beside whether they are children with disability or they are children without disability. Once it was seen that, then we could see that there is no problem with the child. We there is a problem in the system. So system, why? Then we could see so many flaws in the system, that are there's a poor quality training of teachers. Teachers are not trained to handle children with special need. Our curriculum was so rigid that all the children could not be included in all the uh, activities. There was inaccessible and environment, that certain children could not even enter into the schools because there were infrastructural barriers or other barriers there. Parents were not involved. Teachers were not even supported. They wanted to do, they lacked support. And there was a teachers attitude. So and no, I will not say that it is only teachers attitude. Once we didn't know that what inclusion is, it is the attitude of all the stakeholders, that these children cannot do anything, we can't uh, take them into the system. So that was the attitude, and then there was a lot of problems seen in the child. But once we shift our uh, uh, thought perspective, then we could see that problem is not in the child, there's a problem in the system. So let us understand, let us take it as now inclusion has come into the society. Now there is inclusion in the child life. So let us imagine if if the inclusion is going to come into the child life, it is going to come in his first life is his relations, his parents, his sibling, his relatives. And then the second area circle is the inclusion in the community, that is the school. Because after the school, child after this home, child spends maximum time in the school, then school is the second home for the child. Then the inclusion will come into child life in the school. And after, definitely once it comes into the school, it is going to spread into the society. But I'm seeing a lot of teachers, especially I can see that a lot of teachers, if they are from government school, I always say that teachers, in your school, in your children, in government school children, inclusion is going to come first into the community. In in at the school level, because we know that children coming from the background, lot of the parents are not literate enough. They don't have that much of understanding. So the whole responsibility lies on a teacher to educate parent, to tell about the parent that your child has the potential, that to make the parents believe that yes, your child can do that. So first the inclusion, here the inclusion is going to come into child life at the school level, and from the school to the home, and from the school to the society. So I want to acknowledge you teacher for being a teacher, because here I want to say that if we want to bring inclusion in the society, it cannot be possible without you. That is why we chose this program to start in this school only, because only and only who can bring inclusion in the society is the teachers. Teacher is such an important vehicle. Teacher is such an important member of the society. If we want to bring any change, we have to have teacher. We cannot do without you. So I really want to acknowledge you. I really want to namaste you for being a teacher. I know how much it takes to be being a teacher. It's not an easy job. And I really want at this moment, can I see all the participants? I'm not able to see the participants here, but all the participants, if you can see me, can you all raise your right hand with me like this? Can you bend? Can you I can't see my video. Can you bend your then right hand raise and bend and pat your shoulder? You need a strong pat. You must acknowledge yourself for being a teacher. So now let us understand that now inclusion has come into our life. Now, how it is going to benefit children with disabilities. So I will say that it is going to benefit children with disabilities is that because the most we have seen all these researchers that children learn from each other better than from the adults. When they are in a group, they are with the peers, they have a better learning. A child understands other child language better than an adult. So it's like that, if we as a teacher accept that child in the classroom, believe me, no child is going to create discrimination. Children doesn't know discrimination. Children only do how we behave as an adult. So if we all adults accept people or children with disabilities, other children are going to behave in the same fashion. They're going to support these children. So children with disabilities, when they learn and sit with their peers, their learning is very very fast. They learn lot of through the imitation, through copying system. Then they learn lot of behavior techniques, they learn lot of skills from mainstream children. Second is that when these children with disabilities are accepted by the community, as I discussed before, their self-esteem go very high. Most of the time they have certain limitations, but still they can do lot of things. If they have limitations, they have lot of potential also. The only thing is, because of rejection by the community, their self-esteem goes very low, so they cannot realize their potential properly. So for realizing their potential, we need to love these children. We need to make their self-esteem high. They become more confident when they are into inclusive setup. They learn lot of things, and most of the time we see that children, it affects their behavior also, because of frustration, because of rejection. These children become irritable, these children become violent. They don't and with with inclusion, with acceptance, we have seen that there's a lot of behavior shift in children with special need. You can see lot of examples here how the children are benefited. I am going a little fast because we have limitation of time. So now let us see, it's not only going to benefit children with disabilities. Actually, it is going to benefit children without disability. Rather, I will say they will be benefited more. So first of all, there is always a gap between two children. Most of the time other children see children with special need that they are scared of these children. They think that they may harm them. They have a fear of sitting with them. But with the inclusive setup from the day one, where they when they are growing together in the same classroom, then they have more realistic view about these children. Their fear, their misconceptions, they just get removed, and they understand the potential of these children, and they learn lot of certain things from these children. Especially it is very very inspiring for them that we have seen that many children with disabilities, they do lot of work. Many children with physical disabilities, they are showing their potential. So you must have seen sometimes they top the exam, they are a good administrator also. So it is very inspiring for other children. They see that in spite of all the challenges, when this child can do, why can't I? Then other children also become more responsible towards their responsibility to this towards studies. And third is that when we make these other children a peer educator. So peer education means when we tell one child that you need to take care of this child, you make sure that you're taking the responsibility. That child, the other child, take it as a responsibility. Then okay, I have to prepare my lessons so well so that I have to teach him. So there is a self motivation for studies we inculcate in children without disability. But the most important thing I'm going to speak about, that the most important thing the children without disability is going to learn is the empathy and sensitiveness. We can see that this is now day by day is missing in the society, in the new generation. As an elder, we say that our children are very very self-centered because they have not seen that environment. Because most of the families are nowadays are nuclear families, where parents are and children are staying, and child does it, and parents do everything to provide best of the comfort and environment of to the child. So children without disability, they never understand that our children had never experienced anything like the adjustment, compromise, how to be with others. So if inclusion comes in the classroom, they will be more sensitive. They will understand that how we have to respect others, how we have to adjust with others. So this is which is, I think, we all parents, we want that our children should learn. Now let us see that how it is going to impact the society. Is it really true that children with disabilities, CWSN, they are burden to the society? No. If we handle them in time, we train them, we love them, we take care of them, definitely we can create a strong human resource for society. These children then are going to be, rather than burden, they are going to be the important human resource for the society. Second, as I discussed before that, when we reject, because most of the time when these people feel rejection, these people are abused, these people are rejected by others, they are very very frustrated, and then they are taken care by those people. They have their vested interest and they misuse them. So we see that lot of juvenile crime is on rise. Most of the youth between the age of 6 to 24, 25 are involved in crime. And it is research has been done that when we see that research with the criminals, we see that around 2%, around 1.9% of these, they have one or other mental illness or history of mental illness. So somehow, so that gives us the idea that if we accept them, I society, we train them, we give them the right environment, so they can be, rather than the nuisance to the society, they can be the real important resource to the society. So the choice lies between us as a community. What do we want? What do we want? A better citizen, better people, and we want a peace in the society. So these are, so ultimately we could see, as I started my presentation with, in the animation we saw that inclusion brings happiness. So we could see that once children with not with disabilities are not only benefited, children without disabilities are also benefited, society is also benefited. If everyone is benefited, so that means inclusion brings happiness. And we learn that inclusion is not an experiment, it is not a type of a system we all will learn. It is the value of acceptance, value of respecting everybody. So it is the value which has to be followed by everyone. And I'm sure that all the teachers, all who are participating in this, they are with me. So let us love people, let us accept people without judging them, without judging them on their abilities or disabilities. Just love them, and we can create a better environment in the society. So I end up the session with this slide where we can see that there is a three school of thought. So I want an immediate response from you. So what do you think that number one, two, three out of this, which one is an inclusive school? So can you all write? What do you think? Which one is an inclusive school? Yes, great. So Afzal ji, Tipu Sultan ji, so you have written yes, three. You're very much right. So three is the right answer, where inclusive school says that that welcome, I change to respond to you all. I will change according to your need. So number three slide is an inclusive school. Now let us, I want to invite everybody that if you have any questions, if you have, let me just check on chat, if you have asked me anything, I should see that. Or if you right now you want to ask something, please write to me. I can't see the chat. आप देख लिया. We should try to reach, we should find a way such as online classes. Yes. So, yes. Free education is already available to every one. And I tell you viewers, our tomorrow we have a same session in Hindi, and next day we have the session on 26th second. We are going to learn more about what are the government policies, what are the benefits which are provided by government for children with special need, or the children or people with disabilities. And we are going to learn more about it. What are the misconceptions? Like there are a lot of misconceptions in the community regarding people with disabilities. So we are going to learn that in the next session. And further session will talk more about learning how you are going to identify 21 disabilities, how you are going to identify learning disability in a child, intellectual disability in a child. But I can hardly see any question here. People have given the comment, but I'm still having, I just want to ask teachers, any one of you have any question? I could see that You have written your suggestions, and we are expecting, and lot of you teachers are working on innovation. So our teachers are very, very innovative. So I want to request teachers also, please write to us what kind of innovative practices you are doing for inclusion, what kind to bring inclusion in the classroom, what innovative practices you are doing. If you have done anything, please kindly share with that. And Bill, Tipuji said very well that we need to change our perception. Yes, I said the same thing, that if we change the way we see things. The moment we change our perception, things will be very, very different for us. The one thing which appears right now, most of you think that inclusion is impossible, we can't see. But the moment we change our perspective, we see that we can bring inclusion. As I told you, teachers, inclusion can only be brought because of you. Only you and you can bring inclusion in the society. So I have a request today. I'm meeting all of you and all the teachers of the country. I have a request that kindly bring inclusion. Just love these children in the initial phase. Don't have If you don't have any training, it is not required. You are already trained. Nobody is trained more than you. You know your subject well. The only things, unless we change our perspective, we start loving, we start accepting these students, then I know you know what is to be done. You don't want any training. You just only want to change your mindset. This is what we all have to work on. That things will be difficult, it's not easy, but it will be done. If inclusion will come, then that credit will be given to all the teachers of the society, that it has only and only brought by the teachers. So this is what we want to see. Still I'm waiting for questions.
Ma'am, you have explained it in such a good manner that it is impossible to find any question, because I
Oh.
myself, I am from Chandigarh, Puneet
Mhm.
Madan,
Mhm.
and I have come across these type of children, and my experience with these students has
Mhm.
been since class third, and
Oh.
I have taught them in class third. Then
Mhm.
these children, they topped in the class,
Mhm.
and secondly, in class third itself,
Mhm.
rest of the students, they were given such a social environment in the
Mhm.
class itself,
Mhm.
that they started accepting these students.
Great. Thank you so much, Puneet ji, for sharing with us your experience. So, can I ask you, you are from which school?
Ma'am, I am from Government Model High School, Sector 41D,
Um.
Chandigarh. And because I have also come across the trainings of
Mhm.
mentally retarded children, disabled children, sign
Mhm.
language, braille
Mhm.
language. So these trainings, they have helped me a lot. And second thing is your general knowledge, because
Mhm.
you should accept the society. It is not that you should just keep anyone apart from yourself, because every person has their own nature. You
Mhm.
can't say that this person should be like me.
Mhm.
So
So, thank you so much, because it is such a wonderful experience knowing about you, Piniji. And I think most of here the teachers are from government schools. They can see that, because most of time we see that we don't have a facility. It is not the facility. It is always the attitude which can bring a change. And this is a clap from my side for you, Puniji, for
thank
doing
you so much.
amazing work. So anybody
I'm
who wants to share
even
their
come.
experience.
I had a face-to-face contact with you
Uh-huh.
when I was on the stage last time when I'd come in March. Uh,
Oh, okay.
for the national award, and it was very nice talking to you. So
Thank you so much. And I have worked in Chandigarh. So I really want to acknowledge Chandigarh as a state also. Chandigarh is doing amazing work. Teachers
thank
are
you so
doing
much, ma'am.
beautiful work. Thank you so much for sharing here. You don't know, your sharing has may inspire other teachers also. I would like to invite, it's a good idea. It's not about you can ask something, you can share your experience. Can I invite one more teacher if they want to share their experience? So I think we are done with the session, and I really enjoyed giving you this session. I'm sure that you must have also enjoyed this session and learned it. Still, if you feel any question, any query, something is there, please write to us. You know that how you can connect to us through ZI. So write your queries and we'll get back to you. And please stay tuned with us for the next session. It is on 22nd, because there is a continuous series. If you will start from the first session, by the end of the next last session, I'm sure that through this online medium also you all will be trained, and by the time our schools will be open, our teachers with, will be with the new teacher for the all the students, and you will be able to happily accept those children also. I'm really looking forward to see you in my next session. Till then, thank you so much. Namaste.
Ma'am, why don't you come whenever you come to Chandigarh? Let us have face-to-face again talk with each other, because I will also like feel great when you come to a school and give such a good feeling to others as well in my school.
Sure, Puniji, it will be my privilege. Believe me, I'll definitely, whenever I'm going to make a move to Chandigarh, I'll definitely meet you. We have all your particulars. I'll make sure that I'm going to meet you
Oh,
and others
thank
people.
you so
Thank you
much,
so
ma'am,
much.
that you have
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.